Ah. Can you see me, Mysterio? That was supposed to be a thumbnail. You guys hear me? Am I live? All right, good. Did you guys see the thumbnail? I'm trying to work with my StreamYard here, and it's just trying to figure it out. I just did another 24-hour fast. You are live, and I hear you. Good. I just finished I went 23 and a half from yesterday till today. So I did 2 in a row. Oh, I just feel so much better. Sleep better. I'm clear. I know exactly, I just feel good. Fasting is so good for you guys. It is amazing what fasting can do and how it literally can get you healthy. It's the greatest threat to medicine today. The way the human body can fix itself is amazing through fasting. Amazing. So I hope you guys are doing good. I'm just playing around with the StreamYard. Got a new shirt today. Going with a different color than black. But that's where we're at. Next week, I'm going to be in Mexico, Tuesday, leaving from Mexico. And I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing probably any live streams next week. I'll probably upload something from the beach and some nugget of truth. I like to do that every time I am in Mexico. StreamYard is good because it does not glitch as much. I've been doing more longer fasts this week. Good for you. Now listen, when you fast, I was telling my buddy this, you can't do it every day the same 16-8, 24, whatever. But the reality is this, you got to mess it up. You've got, just go 2 days fast, take a day off, and then jump back into 16. Then take that day off and get back into 24. That's how it works. Just confuse the body. Matt Downer, fasting is fun. Viva Mexico. Oh, guys, I love Mexico. I mean, it's amazing. It's chill. It's minimalistic. You sit on the beach, and you just enjoy life. Is there anything better outside of the woods and hiking and biking than sitting on a beach and letting the water take your thoughts to sea? I mean, I love people watching. I love getting in the water. I love floating. I love sitting on the beach and rinse and repeat. It's what we do. So, yeah, I'm excited about that. I go to Mexico quite a bit. I think I've been there in the last 4 times in the last 10 months. Colombia, I wanted to go to Colombia again, but Colombia is a little mental right now. Lots of issues with the government, manifestations. They call them manifestaciones, which are like riots and things like that. And it's kind of hard to get down there with COVID and everything. Hopefully that shit, finishes out. Have a great time in Mexico. They have sharks. Probably somewhere. I see more stingrays than anything. Jawara, DHEA, took mine today, my brother. Sup, boys? Greetings. Did you hear the president of Haiti left this mortal coil yesterday? I did. Crazy. Big Tao Cowboy from Chicago. Call Me Coon. I'm in. How's it going? Hey, I want to shout out. You guys check out Call Me Coon's channel. He's got some good stuff. Done very well. Make Colombia fat asses, but the cartels, and you don't see cartels. They don't exist like the Narcos movie. Colombia is safer than Chicago. I'm serious. It's crazy. The anti-grifter, what's up to you, brother? What is up? Seeing some of your comments. Appreciate you guys all being here. I wanted to do this. I like to do an early Friday because of our Eastern European folks and French and UK guys that love to pop in. I'm always told, Brad, can we do this earlier? Because it's probably like midnight at this time for them. So if some of them jump on at 3 o'clock and 2 in the morning and so forth. So we love our Eastern European folks that are letting us know about female nature. Societal pressure, the gateway to the plantation. I've got 4 reasons why men return to LTRs and marriage. Right? Managed from India, Mumbai. Good to see you. There's 4 reasons that I've come up with. Number 1, thirst and the intimate sexual part. Men like to lay with women. That is a natural biological instinct. We love to spread our seed. Number 2, second reason, validation. Men seek the validation of women, unfortunately. And as you become red pill aware, the only validation you need is right here, internal validation. But most men seek external validation from women. That's not good, guys. Not good. That changed in the last 60, 70 years. Women removing 2 to 3 ribs get tiny waists. Thank you, Kardashians, for that, Jawara. We gravitate towards the hell we know. It's called the fading effect bias, the anti-grifter, but absolutely. I heard Mexico is a cartel, Wild West out there. There's a lot of stuff going down in Mexico. So we look at thirst, the sexual intimacy, which is important, the validation. Now, this validation, and these can be in any order. Validation you guys don't seek the validation of a woman. Seek your own internal validation. That is it. If you seek external validation, you will suffer eventually. Not good. That is the most wimpiest, weakest state to be in. The only validation you need is not even your mother's. It's yourself. I talk about this a lot. 99 people were shot in Chicago last weekend. There you go. There you go. MGTOW cowboy. MGTOW absolute knowledge. You think you're going to get more steady sex with marriage, but it's the inverse. Well said. Well said. Well said. Mexican cartels work on the foreign women to delete traveling brothers. Be very careful out there, my friends. The third reason men return to the plantation is this idea that you will be lonely. You're lonely. Loneliness is a skill that you need to learn how to overcome. Loneliness is programming, which takes me to my 4th and final reason that men return to the plantation. This is the biggest one, guys. Cheaper groceries in the house. Good to see you, brother. The only thing that should validate us is our bank account. I love it. The 4th and final reason that men return to the plantation is the programming, is the shame that he might receive from family members, from friends that are married, from friends that are in relationships. Because he's out doing his own thing and they're going to shame him back to the plantation. So 4 things. I'm going to repeat them. Thirst and sex, intimacy, right? We think getting in an LTR or a marriage is going to be massively amazing with that. But what did MGTOW Absolute Knowledge tell us? It's the inverse. Number 2, validation of a female. Never, ever seek the validation of anyone but yourself. This is what we talk. This is red pill awareness. Blue pill guys, purple pill guys, and even there's lots of red pill guys that return to the plantation because they want validation. Again, deep-rooted programming. Thank you, Disney. Thank you, Hallmark. Thank you, Lifetime channels. Number 3, loneliness. I've spoken about how to get out of loneliness. You have to take one step forward. You have to get out. You have to go sit by yourself at a bar. You don't have to drink. Get a soda pop, get a salad, get a steak, and watch the TV. Go on a hike. There are more men I know that are lonely in LTRs and marriages than I know that are by themselves single. And finally, programming and shame. Programming and shame. From your mother, from your father, from your brother, from your sister, from the guy next door, from the neighbor. You should be married. We know what marriage brings. Marriage brings familiarity. Familiarity breeds contempt. Who can argue that point? I love it when guys get all upset at me because, oh, you should be married. Marriage is wonderful. Really? I did it. The seed of gnosis. Men should never spread their seed. This is the biggest sin that fuels the plantation and made God unhappy. There is value in retaining your seed. The seed of gnosis. Good call. Yo, Rad, don't quit, persevere on the East Coast. I had a guy claim his MGTOW at work, then got engaged with a girl 12 years younger. Found her texting her baby daddy, and she left him. Oh, par for the course. He got a girl 12 years younger, and he loved the validation in the beginning, but what's underneath the covers? Female nature. Matt Downer, we do it for us. Enough said. Well said, brother. Forever 21, forever delusional. Women drive like dog shit. Probably one of the greatest names in YouTube right there. Would agree. The anti-grifter. I was lonely in marriage. So was I. I had a woman that was punching holes in my canoe while I was rowing. Thank you, thank you. After 3 kids. After a wonderful life of abundance in a lot of ways. The truly masculine man revels in solitude. Ooh, I like that. Seed of gnosis. Love it. Love it. That is right there, value. Guys, peace and happiness. Now, I'm talking about the 98% of women. I do give a 1% to 2% delta that there are decent women out there. They're very rare to find. It's like going to a flea market and looking for the, what's the number 1 baseball card that's the most expensive? What's his name? Ty, something like that. You know, that baseball card that's like 5 in existence and they're like $5 million a piece. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that. It's finding a rare, they're very rare. I feel that there are other reasons than this as well, man. There's Roy. There probably are. Those are my top 4 that I believe are the reason that most men return. Seeking external validation is pretty much begging to exist to others. You're right. You'll always be treated as less than doing that. Call me Coon. If you treat them like a celebrity, they will treat you like a fan. You need to get hobbies. You need to hike, go to the gym, lift weights, paint, do things that you never thought you would do. Loneliness is a skill. We're all alone, guys. Everyone, this whole world is alone multiple times per day. Loneliness is giving your external validation away. And that is probably the number 1 reason men return to the plantation. Buyer beware. Dudes get lonely and lose their identity in LTRs. Truth, truth, truth. MGTOW Absolute Knowledge. Check his channel out as well. Red Mind Man, another live stream. I'm going to be gone next week. That's why I'm doing it. Red Mind Man has a channel, small, short videos, and I'm shouting out to everyone that's got channels. Everybody should be subscribing to all these channels. It's just a different flavor of awareness, which impacts us differently. Marriage can really suck. Don't let people lie to you. The only reason for divorce is marriage. That should sum it all up. Marriage for 200. Trebek. Women over 45 direct messaging me on all platforms. Don't know why. Well, Jawara, it's your dreads. It's your bodybuilding body. And it's because you're an author of 7 books. I want to see your next book on frame. Guys, I've decided I'm going to get married. My pheromone soap will protect me. Good for you. You are 100% correct. Get that pheromone and maintain your frame, because frame will override everything, even a judge. When people try to shame me, I get aggressive and they back down. Never be passive in those situations. Big M. Where's Big M from? You are 100% right, my friend. You are 100% right. A tragedy would be getting R-pilled later in life, like 80 and the end is near mortality. Mysterio, yes. Guys, be happy that you have learned The red pill awareness, and red pill extends far beyond female nature. It's government, it's control, it's programming, it's media, it's shaming from neighbors because you could be not the correct weight. It's all sorts of things. Management, revenge, misguidance by society, not by parents, once they know that you are. Red pill shaming and making guilty from ex as a pressure tactic. Those are also very good reasons. Your sons are going to have a great life. They don't know it yet. We're working on it. We're working on it. Slow and steady wins the race. Thanks, Mysterio. I'm telling you, that unicorn is out there in the third world, but when you bring her back here, she's finished. The unicorn in training will be the next divorcer in the United States. Timmy Kramer in San Diego. I need to meet a bikini model who enjoys golfing and hates shopping. 6-week romance is what the doctor ordered. And more cowbell, Mr. Timmy. Well said. It's not just a metaphorical plantation. If you have kids and a wife, you are forced to work and provide money that you wouldn't need on your own. Being alone or being single and not married has its advantages. A minimalistic life. Minimalism is the key to happiness. Less is more. Less is more. Read the story of Buddha. Life is too short. Enjoy it and learn as much as possible, says anti-grifter. Well said. Well said. Avoid social gatherings like the bar or a movie theater. Get out in nature. Listen to Slayer. Hike a waterfall. Rappel to a waterfall. Do things you want to do to make you feel good. If there's anything you've ever wanted to do, this is the best time to do it. If you want to learn how to be a canyoneering person, scale mountains and rappel them, go do it. If you want to learn how to ride a road bike, if you want to begin how to fence, if you want to learn how to cook, this is the right time to do it. Follow what you desire internally. Hobbies beyond digital entertainment, except for art pill content, which is food for the soul. Hobbies are wonderful, guys. Hobbies are wonderful, Mysterio. Cheaper groceries. Spot on, brother. Guys at work say me all the time for not being in a relationship. Meanwhile, I would never lay with your biscuit cans. Isn't it funny? There's this like pressure from other people to be miserable like the rest of them. They want you to be in a relationship to be miserable, to experience what they're experiencing because they see you're out having fun, cheaper groceries. White knight convincing and pressuring red pill guys. The fourth reason, says manage society creating false picture of high quality women. Ooh, I like that one. The fifth one is very good. Yes, repackaging the Nawalt. Repackaging the Nawalt. Big M from London. A wonderful place for music, of course. Motorhead, the Smiths. Well, Def Leppard is from Sheffield. The Arctic Monkeys. Ian Brown and the Stone Roses. Keane, Soul. Oh, Judas Priest. Wonderful places in London, Big M. Tell us how the women are in London. 8 million women set up for eviction. Coming up, guys. They're coming after your new pad, Jawara. Next picture you need to send me is shave that whole head like the Radster. Frame and unicorns don't exist. Life is always managed. That would be a wonderful t-shirt, Mysterio, if not a bumper sticker. Frame and unicorns don't exist. Perfect. My married friend goes to concerts alone because his wife was miserable and ruined past shows. Guys, when I was married, I went to concerts, Don't Quit Persevere, all the time by myself. I didn't like, actually, she went to a couple rock shows with me, but she didn't like it. She was into Taylor Swift, right? Beware the foreign women trap. Female nature is inescapable. Men return to the foreign plantation for the same reasons. The thirsty sexual intimacy needs, which I get. The validation. They want a woman to caress them mentally and emotionally and physically. And the loneliness, being with a woman, will return them to a state of togetherness. And the programming and the shame. Those are my top 4. We return the plantation because of our biological bias. If she has curves in the right places, beautiful hair, and she smiles at you, gives you choosing signals, it's easy to forget the wisdom of the RP, Red Mind Man, laying it down in Chinatown. 100%. 100%. Manage Roy, forgetting what your ex did with you is also the reason that you get back to the plantation. Again, piggybacking on the fading effect bias. We've talked about that. Lisa Smith, all the way from KC. Have you heard about Biden's next bullshit idea for the Fauci ouchie? They want to go door to door and basically guilt us into getting it. What happened to my body, my choice? I would say my religion prevents me from getting any government shot. My religion is red pill. That is how you get out of it. Good to have you, Lisa. The Bible is a control manual, just as marriage is a contract of forced submission. Both are weapons of religion. Who can tell me when marriage began? Did Adam and Eve get married? Foreign women are really not the unicorn, in my opinion. They're just waiting for their turn in the divorce court so they can have a retirement plan. I'm a big Metallica fan. Saw Metallica in 1987 and then 89. The Cult opened up for Metallica. Ian Astbury of the Cult was drunk as a skunk. But Metallica killed it, as usual. I would love to have been in the room when Lars and James Hetfield went to James's dad and said, hey, me and Lars, and we're going to start a band. We're going to call it Metallica. And James Hetfield's dad probably just got off a job working in a factory. He's got 3 different Coors Lights in front of him. And he says, you dipshit should go get a job in the factory like me. Now, 40 years later, every one of those members of Metallica is worth $250 million. It's $1 billion band. Crazy. And I love the fact that James Hetfield is he's a libertarian. And I think he moved out of California. I think he moved to Colorado or Wyoming or something like that. Good job, Matt. Me too. I go to concerts with or without family. Love rock concerts. Man, I went on a date with a gal 3 years ago. LA Guns was in town. I always see LA Guns with Phil, not the fake LA Guns with the drummer. It was Phil and Tracy Guns. And I'm like, I'm up front. She was back in the back. She had no idea. And it just sucked going with her. It was like, man, I'm with guys I've never met. They love LA Guns. We're talking about concerts in the 80s. And I'm like, man, I'm never going with a chick again. She just wasn't into it. So yeah, going by yourself, not a problem. Foreign women will marry you for a green card and then leave you when they get it. They get out of marriage card is what they get next. My buddy thinks he has a unicorn. Now he's under control without even being aware because he's under a unicorn female with spell. Ha! There's a lot of unicorns out there. And what is the biggest trait of a unicorn? Well, they all have a horn in the center of their forehead that looks pretty damn sharp. Pretty sharp. I would not want to get in front of that. Never seek external validation. Rule number 2. Welcome to Costco. I love you in the house. He is creating Rad's list of rules. Black Pill Neo. What up, Brad? Started swimming for an hour a day and hitting the sauna to help get rid of my alcohol weight. Tired of putting in half the effort. I love the sauna and good for you. I swam and it cured my back issues like 10 years ago. Cured my back issues. Wonderful exercise. Low impact, no impact. And then the sauna. I love the sauna. Every Saturday I go sit in the sauna after my bike ride. Love it. Good for you. Where are you from? What do you think about band Rat and Dokken? Love Rat. I like a few songs from Dokken. Don Dokken was great. But Rat is one of my faves as well. I don't like what's gone on with Rat. There's been so many versions of Rat. Nobody knows what's up. But Warren Day Martini, the guitarist, left, and I'm not happy about that. Manage Roy, marriage begins when powerful men started capturing and keeping women for their use. That's where more than 50% for created so that the powerful man can avoid the woman who is married. You might be right. My wife cheated after 14 years. Welcome to the club. Wants to move 2,000 miles with our kids to live with her affair partner who has 4 kids and is divorcing his wife. A man that leaves his wife for another is a huge simp. It's very, very rare. Well, guess what? At least you found out now, El Neno. Tell me where you're from. It's sad. Use the courts, get a very bad bulldog attorney to keep her within the county, if not the district where the kids go to school. This is when you need a very powerful attorney. Trust me. I'm sorry that you're going through that, brother. I know what it's like. Just like you said in the past, sometimes you have to do things with men and leave the women for the physical stuff, of course. Not jumping out of planes and shooting guns with chicks. Women like to do their own thing. Men like to do their own thing. Mysterio, I was going to work for Metallica. I was hired to work, but the pandemic broke out. The shows were canceled, and I lost my job. Ubermensch. What were you going to do? That's great. It's great. A good friend of mine was put through the ringer with a woman because he finally said no to her baloney services. Child services was involved. False allegations by women are dangerous and have no consequences. It's a very double standard, friends. Very double standard, Javier. Where's Javier from? But it's true. Stay out of marriage. Stay out of cohabitation with women and kids. It's you know, I'm not the type that says, hey, I wanted to be married when I got married. That was something I wanted to do. But the reality was not the fantasy. What turned out about it was not what I envisioned in 1996. Okay? It's too risky in today's world. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying know the risks and the rewards and be smart about it. The courts are geared to destroy the man. And it's very sad. Some men just throw in the towel and say, screw it. It's Birdie. It's better than being alone, David Cummings. I know a lot of guys. My brother's one of them. He got married the second time. But he's an ultra simp. Him and I don't talk. People say, what about these guys around me? These family members that they're blue-pilled. You can't do anything about them. As Hammerhand said, we don't recruit. They come when they're ready. They come when they've gone through the ringer 3 or 4 times. And some don't even get it after that. I knew a guy at my when I lived in the apartments when I first moved out 6 years. He was on his 4th marriage. I said, have you learned anything? He goes, I haven't found the right one yet. You can't fix stupid, guys. Some people think they're free because they're not stuck in a marriage, but don't realize that them going to work 9 to 5, 300 days a year means you're still on the plantation, soon to rise. Absolutely, brother. Where are you from? Very well said. Remember the song Black Magic Woman, Santana in 1970? Got it right. Got Me So Blind, I Can't See. Cool jam. I like that song. Santana's got some good stuff, Lisa. Some people think they're free because they're stuck in marriage, but can't see going to their 9 to 5. Yep, did I just see that? You're right, but I'm going to reiterate that. Texas, brother, don't mess with Texas. I worked for the production of the shows. Ooh, I'd love to check out behind the curtains with Metallica. That would be cool. What happens if you can't afford a powerful bulldog attorney like you know who? You better figure out a way to, or you're going to be screwed. You either pay now up front or pay later the rest of your life. Whatever you can do. I don't think Mr. So-and-so was very smart. He definitely was red-pilled in a very unfortunate way, Joara. And what happened to his channel? How did he get off what happened? It's weird. Beautiful Life from Laguna Beach. Hey, you. Any RP songs that help get men through breakups? I cannot listen to simp music anymore. 9 Inch Nails was my band. And Slaves, A Beautiful Death is what got me through it. Slaves are newer, 2018, 2015. Slaves, Beautiful Death. Every song is about a breakup. And he's pissed as hell. But 9 Inch Nails was my band to go to. That was the first one, Pretty Hate Machine. Call Me Coon. How awkward is it to be that guy who has to bring his girl along to hang with your friends? You all turn into zipper mouths. Yep. Gerald Montaña, mejor solo que mal acompañado. A famous saying in español. De acuerdo, mi amigo. De acuerdo. Roland Raggio, the courts destroy men. I think the only solution is to walk away. Anyone else have a better idea? A lot of guys leave big time. They leave big time. Where are you from, Roland? Some people can see a narcissistic individual they've dated but can't call their narcissistic political leaders out. It's a double standard, isn't it? Soon to rise. I still have the thirst. I still don't have that desire to have kids or marriage. A woman would have to be very charming to get me to go along with marriage and kids. 1% to 2% of women are out there that I say are decent women. 1% to 2%. That is a very, very small minority and very rare, Mr. Mysterio. But they do exist. The idea that they exist in a foreign part of the world because it's easier and they're not westernized. Guys, every country is westernized. They have access to the interwebs. They are watching these exact channels. Do you bike every day? Nope. 3 days a week. I used to bike about 4 or 5. I do like 3 days a week because I do pretty hard ones now. Wasting My Time by Default is a song that actually rocks. How about NWA, I Ain't the One? There's an Art Pill song from 1987, or was it 86? NWA talking about red pillars. Listen to it. Black Magic Woman is a good song because women are prone to witchcraft. This is stated in the Bible and the Talmud. I think you're right. Marriage laws are designed to screw men. That well, or to make men and indentured servants. Ubermensch, if I go back to work for Metallica, I'll send you photos. Would love them. I have an international soap that you can watch on YouTube. I think even a great attorney can't do much for a guy. Well, I think you're right. But I think an attorney that knows everyone, you have a better chance. Remember, when you're in court, it's about who tells the best story. That's it. That is what my attorney said. I will educate the court on who Rad is, and I will tell the best story, which he did. And we prevailed, which was fair. Fairness, 50-50 in everything. Fairness, not 80-20. Not stripping me of everything. She got 50% of the assets acquired during marriage, which she deserves. That is marriage law. That is a statute in all states. It's mere past hum ho. We'll check that out. Do you think depression is always linked to love relationships with women for the men? I think there is a link to that, Mysterio. Absolutely. Could be to a mother. Could be an issue when he was left in the crib for hours at a time when he was little. Could be all sorts of things. And one of my good friends suffered depression because of a breakup, which probably happened in the womb. His mother didn't love him. And it probably goes back to the mother. That's what I'm thinking. And I'm not blaming mothers. I just think that maybe the neglect of a child really, solidified the feeling of being neglected and alone for men. Lone wolf. Women have too many options. Only way to win is to not play. Trebek. Female Nature for 400. Author of 7 books. I couldn't afford a bulldog attorney. I found a way. Yeah, there's a way you can do it, but it's a lot challenging. New Jersey. Ooh. Morristown. You are speaking the truth. You are doing a great service. Thank you. Thank you, Roland, for being here. Appreciate your comments as well. I'm still in debt from it, but I'm digging out. My hole would have been so much deeper if it wasn't for his. You mean her representation? Oh, are you thinking the attorney of the dude, of her? They don't want you involved in cryptocurrency because they prefer you being drained from 9 to 5, making breadcrumbs by these plantations. If you have a very successful business, you can, Courts go off W-2s in the United States, which is your income as an employee. They also go off, I mean, you can pay yourself a lot less if you own your own business. He had 42 years of family law and cost over $300 an hour. Wow. Mine was $700 an hour. But it was worth every penny. Every email will cost me $200 just to open up. Seek and Destroy to me is Metallica's best song. Then maybe Jump in the Fire. I like both of those songs, Mysterio. Spike is in the house. Good to see you, brother. Always glad to see Mr. Spike. You know whose wife was glad he couldn't afford a good, powerful attorney? If you have to live on the streets and the gutters, get the most expensive attorney possible. It'll save your rights as a father and protect you. When I'm feeling out of it, I listen to Nirvana. Have I guys told you my Kurt Cobain story? Marriage was made so that non-powerful man can also enjoy women. Like that. Anush? I would tell a woman to meet men at the range. Her reaction will tell me a lot about her views on men, politics, and so much more. 100%, Lisa. It's funny because I grew up shooting. So did my wife's brother and my father-in-law. And then when we got divorced, all of a sudden, firearms were evil. So what did I do the next weekend? Took my boy shooting. And I said, send a picture to your mother. Thousands a day for an attorney is insanity. That is the true reality. I remember my biggest bill, my largest bill for my attorney wasn't $200, wasn't $2,000. For 1 month was $21,000. Don't underestimate. And that was a bunch of court hearings and all sorts of shit. $700 an hour. 40 hours. No, it was like 30 hours. They were on my case like nobody's been. But I prevailed. $21,000 legal bill. You know what the next month was? $2,000. I thought I was in Disneyland when I got the next month's bill. Guys, it is absolutely, and when you have a lot of assets, that just keeps going up. I got a buddy he's already paid $600,000. And his kids are, they're young, 6, 8, and 12 or something like that. It's a shit show. Expensive lawyers have the ability to steer your case to a sympathetic judge, which makes them worth the money. You really want to go cheap and risk, you don't want to go cheap. Very well said. Guys, it's not about what they know. It is part of that. It is who they know. It is all a game. If they know the judges very well and the commissioners and the other attorneys, you will be fine. It's as simple as that. Don't get the idea that they can use all these laws against you. No, it's all about who they know and what the story is told. Don't go through it. Do not do it. Listen to Rad. I have a great relationship with my mother, and I think you do as well. I do. We are slightly jaded towards women when our mothers are basically great. I have a great mother. She's wonderful. She's a little crazy at times, but she's stuck with my father. How is women if she gets 500? How is your woman if she gets 500 messages a day on social media? Why does she need you? Why does your woman need you if she has so many options? Ask yourself that question. Soon to rise, red pill people's families are falling apart because they go to their plantations and corporations for the majority of the year. We've got to get back to traditional gender roles, guys, but I don't think it's going to happen in my lifetime. Did your ex get along with your sisters? She did. I think my older sister and her are still friends. I may need a break from our red pill content. It may increase my thirst because it makes me realize the scarcity of good women. Welcome to Costco. David Cummings, modern dating pointless because the jig is up. Most men know the truth of female nature. If they don't know the truth, they know it, but they don't want to know it. Bolef is in the house. Cheers to you, brother. Tell us again about your Cobain story. He was really an icon. You guys are going to love that. If you have the thirst, just remember this is a lot of women have STDs. It's a minefield out there. Be very careful. What Rad spent on his case is insanity. Yes, I could have bought a brand new 2021 Porsche 911 Carrera GT4. Living in California, brother, paying $1,600 for child support, $12K in attorney fees. See my kids 32 hours a month. She filed a DV to remove me from my home. This is reality. You are not alone, my friend. I hear this all the time. Send me an email if you want to chat more. rebelagainstdefeat@gmail.com. For $21,000, there better be a major upswing in the man's favor. Luckily, I had the money to pay my divorce. There's guys that can't, and it's sad. See you later, Matt. How can we peacefully abolish family court? I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, Roland. I don't think it's going to happen. Pal of Rad topped 600,000, and it's still going. Still going. I bet he's 800 to a million. Guys, to break up. But he's doing it for, he's got a lot of money. So he's doing it for, he's going to keep going. He's going to do it to prove a point. And he has the money to pay for it. Forgotten Furian Ake. 50-50 custody, child support, and a house worth of lawyer's fees equals winning? Very well said. Where are you from, brother? Hitman is cheaper, disagreeable. Well, I would pay whatever I could instead of being in jail. Sometimes you wish that, well, there were times that, and I think on both ends that you wished maybe a semi-truck had a crash with a certain person in your life. It would make it easier. But I also knew that my kids needed their mother and they need their father. So I fought for that. Rolando, if America goes belly up, family court and the laws will fall apart. You know how much money and how many people family court employs? Go look. It is a huge moneymaker. I also hired a private lawyer. When dragged into family court, always get a top lawyer. MGTOW Cowboy. Yes, sir, Reed Bob. You need, regardless, women are watching this or men watching it, you need good lawyers. And some of these women have been cheated on. There are guys that are douchebags. Let's be real. Texas just passed a law that makes it where they don't even need a good reason for mothers to hold their kids from the father. I figured they would go the opposite direction because HTO kid, they don't have alimony in that state. Life is amazing. When Rad has a show, there's endless questions. Keep on asking, Mysterio. You always bring up the good ones. You could buy a decent house, have a great, reliable car, a friend, circle, hobbies, a good job, relative, peace at home, good food, enough sleep, exercise, or have a wife. Red, my man. It's risky. Risk versus rewards. Return on investment is very, very slim, if not none. Meanwhile, good fathers want to be in their kids' life, but toxic mothers use any means they have to keep the father at bay and bitch about it being so hard. Something drastic needs to happen. It's not going to happen anytime soon, guys. A cheap lawyer has to be good for something. At least he gave the cheapest guy a shot before getting screwed in court. Oklahoma. Awesome. I know someone from Oklahoma that's in the chat. Judge Judy has said that family court is more vicious than any other court, including criminal and corporate. And it's not even a criminal or corporate court. That's the crazy thing. I've been there. You have 29 months in court, guys. Do not do it. I grew up around guns, and I'm an Army veteran. Thank you for your service, Lisa. Range days were relaxing. Aromatherapy is great for the soul. Gunpowder smells kind of ramp up my adrenaline. We just shot the 45s last weekend. I might take them this weekend shooting the 22s and the 30-06 rifles. My boys are great shots. I won't even smash into ass. It's getting bad out there. You might be very safe for doing that. Rad's, yeah, he is making a point. He is pissed like a mofo, but he's got, $30 million. So he's going to take her all the way. Remember, family court generates more money than all other couples combined. 50 to 60 billion a year, MGTOW Club. I think that was a little bit low. I would think it in the, billion. Okay. Yeah. It employs these judges, guys, these judges, yeah, they do DUIs, they do, criminal shit. The majority of their cases are family issues. So if that goes away, what are they going to do? Everyone should research who the top lawyer is in their city. Find a guy that was successful and ask him who his attorney was as well. My attorney was a reference from a sitting judge that I knew. My divorce was painful, but it never got that bad, although she was incredibly violent and my mental health has suffered as a result. Oh, whose mental health doesn't? But you're right, Redmine. Last time I tried to play the game, it was a joke. The daughter of that woman goes to preschool with my son and wants to play with him, and I told him to say, no, it's good practice. She was crazy. Slam Cave. She was crazy. Good to have you, brother. My contact is in my, okay. Yeah, reach out anytime. You guys have you just want to talk, I'm always open to anybody else on this forum as well. Look at us gaming the system for scrap of intimacy. FJT, that thumbnail is crazy. That was 28 years ago when I was in my band called Adam. I'll link a video to it. Got about 4 or 5 videos online. Filmed with an old Canon camcorder, the big one, that had the real VHS tape in it. So we'll check it out. Good to have you, FJT. Check out FJT's channel as well. Always good stuff. If I was getting divorced, I'd stop at $150K. I had budgeted $250,000 for me. That's when I would stop. Crazy. When do you think the tide changed with female-male dynamics, social media, or has it always been there and RP content erupted it? I think mid-2000, early 2000, like 2004, 2005, I saw a lot more divorces. Before in the 90s, not many. I think the explosion of the cell phone and social media. Well, the thing about the cell phone, it was easier to contact people. In fact, beepers. Think about beepers, right? You could contact. So I just think that once people have their own phones, they could have private conversations, even if they were married, with other people. Head meds and full of red flags. I knew better, but it was almost 3 years without and should have stayed away, Slam Cave. Would agree. Beautiful lives hanging out in Laguna. 100 years ago, women got the vote without registering for selective service. A felony if we don't register. Double standards. So I was going to do a live stream on double standards. Interesting. So if one gets divorced, is it doomed if the judge is female? Mysterio, my commissioner was female and ruled in our favor. But my commissioner also worked with my attorney in their beginning law careers. Guys, it's who you know. And you pay for it. But my attorney was a badass. He kicked some serious effing ass. She and her attorneys were scared of him. I'm ammosexual. I always need more. Can you get ammo anymore? It's so dang hard to get. To find punk rock, I get it confused with Green Day and Sex Pistols. Well, it depends on what the punk rock you're thinking. The punk rock I think about. Actually, punk rock would be Sex Pistols, Generation X, which is Billy Idol's band. I call hardcore Fugazi, not Fugazi, Minor Threat, Black Flag, 7 Seconds, early DRI, GBH, UK Subs, who else? TSOL. I don't even call Dead Kennedys punk. Dead Kennedys were their own genre. But punk rock, and Green Day is more of a, I don't know what you put them in there. I mean, punk rock was never played on the radio, nor was hardcore. That's how I define it. My lawyer got divorced, says Ubermensch. The wife took almost everything, and the children now. He has become an alcoholic, and I can't contact him. Oh, sad. That's sad, guys. Hopefully he gets on his grind. And the best thing you can do for yourself if you go through a divorce or reject, there's people that live in their cars. Coach Craig Adams. You've got to get back. You've got to build right here, back up. You can do it. You're a man. You're a man. Only bands confirmed. Love it. Tell your pal to fight on. Oh, he is. Chat rooms. What about chat rooms? Chat rooms. Oh, yeah. Chat rooms also absolutely contributed to the shit show. All right, beautiful life. Laughing my ass off. The thirst is real. I like to think I have morals, but I do have a lot of safe queens. Sometimes I sleep with them, which is morally questionable. Well, guys, we don't say go your own way and you have to follow some certain recipe. Going your own way says you are doing what you want on your terms. It's as simple as that. The Exploited, yes, from the UK. Love The Exploited. NFO and NoFX, yeah, not bad. Pennywise, Bad Religion, love Bad Religion. Guys are great. You know the singer of Bad Religion, I think he has a PhD. He's a teacher of some sort. Or was it TSOL? I know the lead singer of TSOL, Jack somebody, is True Saints of Liberty. He is I think he has a PhD and he teaches at a college down in Southern California. I think UCLA. Would love to boondog one of his classes. FJT and Rad, where will the 8 million evicted women go after the moratoriums? Well, you have 4 or 5 rooms in your house, Jawar. I'm sure you can get them. I worked with divorced guys offshore with guys that worked 14 days off to support themselves. Wife got the whole check. They would marry multiple times. James Miller. Ooh. James, I think you just can't fix stupid, right? The thirst is real, guys. Think about it. Post a video when you get a chance, Rad. We want to hear your masculine rain music, FJT. I will. I'll send a link. I guess Green Day is hard rock, like a harder Chuck Berry. Potentially. I mean, I like Green Day. They were cool before they got big. I knew them in like early 91. Their hit became big in 94, which was Nookie. On that CD that had When I Come Around and Basket Case, stuff like that. Paul McCartney had such a good divorce lawyer that his ex-wife threw water over her in court. Big M. Definitely Big M. The Secret Secretions have a lot of good songs. I didn't get into them as much. I'd like to check them out. Green Day equals pop, punk, pop. Exactly. What questions do you ask females to get a sense of their female nature? What is their relationship like their father like? First and only question. If they hate the father, that is a big red flag. Just talked to a buddy across the street. He had intercourse with a girl. After they were done, she wanted to be paid. He said no. Next thing he knew, he has a DV case. Be very vigilant and very careful, my friends. Very careful. It's happening. I'll bring my own ammo and meet you at the range anytime. I bet Lisa is a good marksman. Brian May from Queen is an astrophysicist. He is one smart mofo. Green Day was also pop punk, Jefe Salsero. I would agree. Anything on the radio is pop, guys. Nice Guys Finish Last applies very well to Red Pill. Yes. I remember early chat rooms on AOL. First question was always age, sex, location. Tell Cowboy. Family member's house or Big Daddy Gov will help them out. Guys, reasons why men return to the plantation. Thirst and the intimacy, the sex. Number 1. Number 2, validation. Men believe that a woman's validation will validate them. Couldn't be further from the truth. You need your own validation. Loneliness. And finally, programming. The deep shame that comes from not being with a woman from external sources. That is the reason. Red Mind Man, save queen equals firearms. Well said. Don't take me too seriously. Is Paul McCartney a simp that let Michael get control of the Beatles catalog? There's a price for everything. Who's just willing to pay it? Group range day, let's get it. I'll bring half the ammo, match me on the other half, guys, gals. I go up the canyon and shoot. I don't even need to go to a range. We just put cans and bottles out, and we have a wonderful time till the ammo dries up. I was an AOL player back in the day, America Online, with all of those discs in the mail. Remember that? I'll bring some pheromone soap for targets. Perfect. I learned a lot about women's behavior because of AOL, the anti-grifter. Insta scams on only fraud. And besides search, what is your opinion on why men head back to the killing fields after one or multiple failures because they believe in the fantasy. The fantasy is real. That should probably be the number one reason men return. They still believe in the fantasy. Sinead O'Connor seeking false. Yeah, I was telling somebody, was it like the last live stream? Prince is now being Me Too'd and he's not even alive. All right, let me get to the Kurt Cobain story. 88. Nirvana is opening up for Tad, and Tad is opening up for Mudhoney. Mudhoney is basically grandfathers of grunge with the Melvins. Kurt Cobain loved the Melvins. I think it was a roadie. So the reality, I have no idea who Nirvana is. And the only thing I knew about Nirvana was it was a cult song on the cult CD Love. And I thought, that's interesting. I wonder if they have they're into the cult because they chose Nirvana. Nirvana plays, it's just Kurt and Kurt Novoselic. There's no Dave Grohl. There's a different drummer. They sucked. They weren't very good. It was the very beginning. He goes out in the crowd while the next band, Tad, is setting up, TAD. And I literally went up to him. I always talk to people. I'm like, hey, you're that singer from that band Nirvana. You guys sound all right. And I was wearing my Santa Cruz t-shirt. I just got sponsored a year before that. And he's like, hey, you skate? And I said, yeah. He goes, oh, man, I skate too. I'm from Aberdeen. And Aberdeen was about 90 miles from Portland. And I said, oh, that's cool. He goes, yeah, I got a Pal Peralta. I think he had a Steve Caballero, a Pal Peralta, Kurt Cobain. And I'm like, that's cool, man. He's like, thanks for coming out. He was the nicest dude. He was asking me about my life. I spent about 10 minutes just chatting with him. And he's like, you guys, you like this music? And I'm like, absolutely. We love Mudhoney. He goes, oh, Mudhoney's one of my favorite bands. He was just a very nice guy. He was asking me what kind of skateboarding I did, what kind of board I rode. And he just was really humble and thankful that I actually came up and told him he was cool. And he sat back in the back of the room the whole night, and nobody else was talking with him. That's Kurt Cobain. I tell my boys that story, and they get all excited because they're all into Nirvana. I go, he was a nice guy. And then 1991, when Teen Spirit comes out, guy's friggin' on top of the whole world. It was the weirdest thing. So that's my story about Kurt Cobain. I thought it was cool. Beautiful life. We love food, but hate what it can do to us potentially. That seems to be the case with all things in life. Without the bad, we would never know what the good is. Sweet and sour. We would not know sweet without sour. Very well said. Beautiful life. The 12G is a freaking awesome firearm. 12 gauge. Love the 12 gauge. Got one of myself. Mysterio, my problem is the thirst more than anything. Loneliness does not exist for me. I have lots of friends and acquaintances. Thirst is real for men that are also thirst and intimacy is we're biologically programmed for that. I mean, it's really difficult. And so you got to figure out a way how to deal with that, whether it's short-term relationships only, whether it's Mustang Ranch, whether it's whatever you need to do to exercise that. But be very, very careful of who gets to experience that with you. I don't agree with Kurt's personal views, but I love his music. I would agree with that as well, FJT. I agree with Axl Rose's personal views back in the day, and Sebastian Bach from Skid Row. But yeah, he was very political. I think that's what happens when guys get that big. But he's also from Aberdeen, and Aberdeen was a shit little town in Washington, 90 miles from Portland, that dealt in the lumber industry. Lots of lumber and paper mills out there. Do you think he killed himself because of Courtney or the fame? I personally think it was Courtney. He didn't have to accept the fame if he didn't want it. I would agree. I saw the video, or I saw the documentary on that. I believe Courtney was Kurt Cobain didn't seem like he was a depressed guy when I met him. Now, maybe fame did that, but I don't know. It just didn't seem like he was a nice guy. He was asked. Now, when a person asks questions about you and he gets excited to hear your responses, that's someone that likes life. So I don't know what happened. Could be fame, could be drugs, could be the pressure. Who knows? Truth and knowledge does overcome the programming. We have to use our logical brain. Always. Well said, Manish. David Castro in the house. Good to see you. The anti-grifter. I agree the thirst is the main reason men fall back in the marriage or relationship trip. Lots of reasons, but I think that's the number one. The second time around, the third time around is going to be better. You like 311 going to their concert in August. Of course I like 311. Great. What's that one song? Amber? Good song. They got some good stuff on their first one as well. Sinead said Prince violently beat her up. Prince is like 4'5". Like, really? His shoe size was like a size 3. How did he beat her up? What's DC like? I have never been there. That's all right. I'm not a big fan of Washington, D.C. I think that's what you're talking about. Is Eve wrong for what she did to Adam? Terry McDowell. Where's Terry from? Or Tari? Is it Terry or Tari? Who knows? Eve was the beginning of female nature. From the beginning of time. And Adam was the beginning of male nature, defending, going back to the plantation. We wouldn't be here without Adam and Eve if you believe in the Bible. Phil Hartman from SNL was killed by his coked up wife. Why did he not see it coming? Good question. I like Phil Hartman. Good question. Friendship and love are neurochemical illusions spawned by human frailty. Fight me. It is a complete neurochemical illusion forgotten. Dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin are the chemicals that one would associate with love. But those chemicals will always go back baseline in your brain. You have to understand that. The high you get from first kissing that first girl is not going to be the same high you get 10 weeks from now. Be real. You thought Kurt Cobain or Phil Hartman was in denial. One of them. My height is 4'11". Well, you could be a jockey for a horse race. Those guys are all 4'10" to 4'11", 5 foot. No worries. Height means nothing. Rad yo, back. Is it okay just let an average feminist girl pursue me even though I know from the get-go there's nothing there? I admit I do enjoy the interaction. I don't lead her on at all. Thoughts? Whatever you think is right. She's feminist. I love it. Feminists are very easy to lay horizontal with. Don't let a feminist idea basically put you under the pedestal. You are on the pedestal. Is Eve wrong for what she did to Adam? No. Why? She couldn't be wrong. She exercised female nature. There's nothing wrong with what female nature is. It's just understanding it. The great talent was taken from us. I would agree. Basically, I've given up on relationships. I don't find her particular partner material. She's a nice person, and I'm very isolated these days. I know lots of nice gals. I talk to nice gals. I have no problem. It's how you incorporate a woman into your life. Do you put her on the pedestal? Does she control you? Do you put your purpose after hers? These are why men going their own way. These are questions you have to answer. Do you need her validation to wake up in the morning, to go to bed at night? Where does Lilith fit in with Adam? She was his first wife, right? In the Jewish literature, Lilith was Adam's first wife that did not submit. So he married Eve. Jewish folklore talks about Lilith. I agree that she was his first wife. Adam was a simp. I considered Adam, the anti-grifter, the very first simp. Maybe that's where our programming comes from. It's not even the cell phone. It's all programmed back to Adam and Eve. Lucky Conor McGregor getting secretly contacted by other fighters' wives. Guys, there's no such thing as hidden relationships anymore. They're all out in the open. She probably wanted to be found out to get attention. FJT, some people said Courtney pulled the trigger and covered it up. Many people don't believe Kurt committed suicide. What do you think? I don't think he did it. I don't think he did it. I think it was a cover-up. They've done a bunch of analysis on where the gun was, where the bullet went in, how it happened. He couldn't have done it himself. Somebody else was involved. And potentially, now I don't want to make any speculation, but potentially she hated the fact that he had more attention than she did based on home. Now, what happens when somebody gets sick or dies? And let's say they're married. The woman becomes a victim. She gets attention for the death or the sickness of the husband. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry to hear that. There could be an element of attention seeking and victim playing the victim card with Kurt going out. Think about that. She got a lot of attention when Kurt died. Did she not? But I think FJT that she knows more than she's letting on. All women benefit from feminist laws. Bubba, the rest is just a label. Well said. Search for a guy named Donald Marshall. He said he wrote the lyrics to a lot of songs in the 80s and 90s. He's on a Megadeth cover. Donald Marshall, check it out. God should have made thou shalt not simp an 11th commandment. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Thou shalt not simp. Simping ain't easy, guys. All of this thing started when marriage was created. Before marriage, nothing like this used to happen. It's also not about alpha male. Even they get ditched. Alpha male means nothing. Put yourself on the pedestal. That is your best weapon against potential destruction in a relationship. The world needs a hero, Donald Marshall on the cover. Raise your hand if you like Megadeth. Average woman equals feminist equals you're smart. Well said. Men used to not talk about how women were screwing them over. They would blame themselves. YouTube's changed that. The game has changed. James Miller, laying it down to Chinatown. Well said, brother. Well said. Tech and God Jets, she probably liked him and covered it up. You never know. All this thing happened when marriage was defined. Marriage leads to a road called divorce. Marriage equals familiarity. Familiarity equals contempt. I don't care who you are. People get tired of each other. I get tired of my kids sometimes. I need my own time away from them. It's human nature. Marriage does not make things better. For the majority, female jealousy is deadly. Call me coon. I would agree. Why would a man commit mortal coil over a woman? I don't get it. Even Romeo over Juliet seems idiotic. Fantasy versus reality, Mysterio. Jealousy. Jealousy. Guys kill themselves because they don't want their woman or their ex-wife with another man. Terry McDowell, my bad. Brad, I typed a question in twice by mistake. Don't worry. We all make mistakes. Hands up if you like Megadeth. I've punished many of women in the sack. I've ran through women even made more money than me. They soon realize that I'm not intimidated by their career. Who gives a flying F about your career? FJT. Well said, my brother. And I am sure you have laid horizontally in multiple instances. You never worshiped them. You never put them on a pedestal. You're the prize. And they have the opportunity to partake in the FJT world. Based on your voicemails, which I love, by the way. Tech and Godjets, something happened with Courtney Love. I don't believe that she is innocent in that in any way, shape, or form. Did the popularity, the fame, and the drugs have anything to do with it? Sure. Sure. But something does not smell right with that. It just doesn't. Simps learn the hard way. It's natural predation. Sure. Sure. We were all simps at one point, all of us. Men should build home gyms to avoid gym peace leaves. I do like your gym, Joara. It looks very nice. Went to the gym today. My boss complains about his girlfriend and how they argue all the time. They just got married 2 days ago. You can't fix stupid cheaper. Can't fix stupid. Do you think couples get married at 20 to 21 in this day and age will last? No. It's always kind of crazy to put yourself in that commitment so young, almost knowing you will want more down the road. You know, people hear HTO kid get married at 18 and 19. Do you know how much you're still kids? Don't do it. Don't even get married. John Boston in the house, back from trading. How's the trading day today, brother? Good to see you. Yeah, I wanted to do an early live for the European guys, but there's not very many on. I was thinking sound engineer would jump on. We always like hearing from him and a bunch of other guys, UK guys. I have more voicemails on the way. I'm getting started. God damn, I love those voicemails. They are angrier than a pet raccoon in a garbage can, aren't they? Angry elves. Jack Nicholson or Pacino, who is the better actor? Pacino for me as well. Pacino never got married. Think about that. Remember when Jack Nicholson said, and something's got to give, the chick's like, how do you write so well about women? And he said, I remove accountability and reason. You guys got to watch that clip. Jack Nicholson, something's about to give. Oh, it's funny as hell. I'm on my path to figure out the belief that was defined when marriage was created. After knowing all that belief, our eyes will get more clear. I would sum it up with people get married for a retirement plan. You know the world is messed up when fat people shame me for being a healthy weight. You know what? You have you're fat phobic because you won't date a fat woman, Cheaper Groceries. I would like to nominate my friend as King of the Sims. His wife let him. She got a boyfriend and he has not divorced her and thinks he is still going to get back with her. He makes me mad. The Grand Poobah, a simping John Boston's friend. We will nominate him and give him an honorary simp. He can live in the simp, Simpville, and we will crown him King of the Simps. Perfect. What an idiot. I talked to a solid common sense coworker over lunch today about my situation, several hardships. Hammerhand is right. We don't recruit. I would argue you can't recruit. Nope. They will show up when they are ready to hear. There's no getting through to these guys unless they get screwed over. Ain't that the truth? Trading was good today, so lots of premium when the market fell. Lots of premium came in today. What was the number one stock going? I just saw something on, was it Drudge? A couple stocks are out of control right now. Can't remember which ones. When I was 24, I wanted to marry my then small town girlfriend. Now at 37, I can't imagine getting married. Well, hopefully you hit and quit her when she was 24, so you got the best of her world. Big Top Cowboy. Just watched 2 for the Money. Good movie. That is a great movie. Jack won an Academy Award for Something's Gotta Give. Oh, he's great in that movie. I had a friend that he was a server at Disneyland in Anaheim, and he said Jack Nicholson came in with his 2 kids, I don't know, 20 years ago, like late 90s or something. And he was serving the table, and he said, hey, would you guys like some more fries or some more water or some refills on your soda pop, anything else? And he asked a couple times, and then Jack Nicholson was eating, and he popped up and said to my buddy Max, he said, thanks, we're fine, or something like, thanks, we're fine. Like, you just see Jack Nicholson doing that. The feminist community ruined the traditional life, and I think it's never coming back anytime soon. David Castro, I would agree with you 150%. Don't worry, the overweight can never take over the world because they can't catch us and they die sooner. I would agree. Sometimes I feel sad for having run off so many beautiful, fun women and not having kids. But then I remember the potentially life-destroying consequences. Remember those words you used. Beautiful, fun women not having kids. Beautiful, fun women do not exist when they have kids, the majority. I have diabetes. My doctor told me to reduce 15 kilograms in my weight. Just think how fasting does well for diabetics. Brad, you're transformer phobic because you won't date them. You were living in some crazy time. I saw that commercial, FJT. I'm just like, you gotta be kidding me. No, I date real, biologically beautiful, good women. Well, hopefully they're good. But hell no. The Nevada runner-up for Miss USA is a transgendered woman. What world do we live in, guys? Who's the brother in chat marrying the 350-pound woman? John Boston's friend. Even the ones who get screwed still try to make it work. I've done it as well. I can't say anything, but it's hard to watch knowing she's being a 304. Laughing at them. I will have a unique life, not the typical life Mysterio. What is unique anymore, right? The movie is called As Good As It Gets. Yeah, it's probably right. It was one of them. Something's got to give or As Good As It Gets. When he's the writer. Oh my gosh, it's funny. Someone should post a link to that in the chat. The little on YouTube where he tells the woman, I take accountability and reason out. The red pill cannot be force-fed. You won't even have to ask them to take it when the time is right. Call me Coon. If you had the red pill and they were about to get pushed off a cliff by a woman or take the pill and have a great life, how many guys would get pushed off the cliff after the woman said, there'll be a net to catch you? 98% would jump off the cliff. Go ahead and take one for the team. Just hold frame, bro. Hold frame and use your soap. Hold frame, use your soap. You know, a lot of those early guys are back on the plantation, even after they supposedly know the truth, know reality. I have yet to find a beautiful, fun woman to date or be around for the most part, maybe 2 female friends at best. I know a couple. They're hard to find, my friend. I have a friend who married an Asian woman. Prior to 7 years, he took my advice and divorced her. All of her Asian women friend divorced the men they married in the States. Let that be a lesson, John, to everybody in the chat. I saw a 7-year-old woman being promoted as a model on the Today Show this morning. 70 is still 70. 400 for age. Trebek. As Good As It Gets is the movie I meant to say. Yeah, I think you're right. Greetings from Poland and Taro Guster. Some guys from U2 says that women from Eastern Europe are better. US, UK are a couple years ahead, but we are going exactly the same road. Female nature and propaganda is universal. I would agree with you, Antero, and great to have you. My brother lives with his wife in Warsaw. I would like to experience Warsaw. I think that would be great. Maybe I'll go this Thanksgiving. They have some great beer over there too. As my wife was divorcing me, my ex-brother-in-law was asking me if I would ever pursue reconciliation. You will never ever get back to ground zero with an ex. You do not bathe in dirty water. It is worse the second, third, fourth time around. Good for you, Red Mine Man. Tari McDowell, in your opinion, who has better McDowell content, Tom Likas or Coach Greg Adams? Mr. Likas will be my vote. Women think being submissive is negative. It's now. Well said, Mr. Likas is the godfather. We love Mr. Likas. That guy posted pics with this 300-pound woman with the skin tags on her. Ugh. My family wants me to meet a woman and get married like my friend. I showed them pics of the huge bride. She's got to keep her weight up. She has to be a poster child for BBWs, big, beautiful women. And she is a princess, John. Men going their own way is a gold mine of secondhand experience. I would agree. Very well said. Men going their own way are guys that have come through the ringer and have used logic over emotion to determine that the reality is not the fantasy. Men are the rock, women are the weather. They change all the time. Most women have 12 to 15 hurricanes per day. All you can say is, I can't imagine what you're going through. That is how they're wired. We are wired differently. But there are emotional dudes that act like women emotionally. You have to be stoic and strong and be on purpose. It's what we talk about. Internal validation is what you need. External validation is a no-no. We sought it once, we'll never seek it again. Build yourself up. Men are the rock material. I am very disgusted by a man that cuts their genitals off. We know what happens to the psychology in the end. You know what's interesting? A guy that becomes a woman still has a prostate, and a woman that becomes a man still has a uterus or whatever that has to get checked. You're never ever free of being a man or a woman. Your biology does not allow it. You know who allows it? The left. And it's starting earlier and earlier. Take care, guys. Good to see you. Have a good one, brother. Tom Likas is on the money. A 40-year-old woman told Coach Greg, 40 is the new 25. Another said, I still look 30. Well, some women can get away from looking younger. So can men. But 40 is not the new 25 for 99% of all women. 40 is now 50. Big, beautiful women is an oxymoron like military intelligence. That's my favorite oxymoron. Military intelligence, Lisa. Emotional dudes don't know the truth. Emotional dudes are men who are raised in a female-centric liberal mentality who blame and play victim. Strong men are not victims. Strong men make, wimpy men take. I should coin that. Did your ex ever demand that you do something by a phone call when you were married? Like come home and listen to her rant about whatever? Nah, she didn't do that. No, but she would rant when I was home about typically her family. We didn't have a lot of issues like that, but, you know, in that regards. Stop lying around. You know you want some Bruce Jenner HTO kid. I'm glad you mentioned that that person's name is Bruce. I don't recognize what Bruce is trying to play for Halloween. Idiot. Rad, she's not a BBW. She's something bigger like an SBBW, super BBW. Jeez, it really is amazing to see them in the supermarket buying soda, packaged foods, and box of cookies. She got to keep her weight up. Blown up like the Goodyear blimp. Every man thinks his formula to making a relationship work is the best solution. Most men think it would never happen to them. They don't understand that she can change her mind at any time. She can change the rules at any time, lower or raise the goalposts, the net, the basketball hoop. I know you're playing. You're funny. I know a 45-year-old was upset because she wanted to date a 33-year-old guy and got upset that he didn't call her. I wanted to tell her she was target practice. We call that, in my world, delusion. Giga blimp. Although not politically correct, is it true that transgender people have high rates of suicide? Yes, it is. Cutting your genitals off is not the cure. Back to zero carbs. Nothing wrong with zero carbs, but I enjoy fasting. Never thought I would see in my lifetime where Bruce Jenner would change genders. God forbid if Evel Knievel would do that. Ed Hutch in the house. How are you, brother? Good to see you. Good to see you. The reality is we are living in a world full of delusion. Delusion. Men are delusioned by thinking there is a fantasy on the second, third, fourth time around. Women are living in the illusion that they picked the wrong guy and there's another great guy out there. Guys that snap their genitals off are living in the delusion that they can change genders with no repercussions. There's no easy quick fix, guys. You have to get that through your mind. There is a fantasy versus reality. I see too many overweight women here. Maybe it's the barbecues. When I was in high school, you can probably relate, Lisa. Good for you, Manish. When I was in high school, the fat women knew where their place was, which was they were invisible, pretty much, except when it came to passing time when you could buy donuts. But that's reality. Women are agents of the state and show up at the clerk's window in probate court looking for cash and prizes. If men had the advantage in divorce, the courts would be out of business. Well said, Mr. John. We talk about that. We've been through it. Only in America you can be born a black male and die a white woman. Look, I don't have hair, but I identify as a full head of hair. Now, fat women identify as skinny now. Do you agree that other females keep women bitter and don't want to see them happy? Yes, I do. They help add to this dysfunction, in my opinion. We call that HTO kid the hive mind. The hive mind is real. I guess the 8-year-old wanted to see me, so we went to the Highland Dancing Fair. Mom wouldn't get out of the truck. Ed, par for the course. I'm glad you were there. Glad you were there. You stay strong. You know what it's like. Those are the 4 reasons, guys, why men return to the plantation. Thirst, intimacy, validation, loneliness, and programming. Stay strong. Stay on purpose. This is rebel against defeat. Chase excellence, masculinity, men first. See you Sunday.